Hello, hello. Sorry, I can't see if the chat is up because YouTube is not, for some reason, not happy with me right now. Give me a second. Let me just try and figure out how to load up chat, maybe on another device. Let me just pull up my phone. But yeah, welcome everyone to a sudden Sunday faction wars. This is actually, I wasn't actually planning to do this yesterday. Well, before the stream yesterday. But after streaming yesterday, I was like, or around the end, I was like, I want to play some games. But unfortunately, Tequila Sunset this week is not free on the weekend to cast games or host tournaments. So there were no publicly hosted tournaments, and I was like, yeah, I guess I'll just have to do it myself. Thankfully, Tequila Sunset was pretty flexible and was like, yeah, sure, feel free to just host Sunday Faction Wars. So here we are, Sunday Faction Wars. I'm stealing his slot for a week, and yeah, gonna go and have some experiments with some Tinge units. In particular, I want to try out the Burning Chariot, because I saw the Burning Chariot yesterday in one of the replays, and that thing deleted the Skull Cannon. It was quite brutal. I wanna try out in actual combat and see if I can replicate that outcome, but this is gonna be rough. Chaos Dwarves, very strong firepower and all, and on top of that, fire resistance, so these flaming missile might be less effective, but maybe they just have enough sheer firepower to break through, who knows. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens, and yeah. It's been a while since I played Tinge. I am not sure if I can handle this, but we shall see. I suppose what we need is... Wait, we don't have any AP... Shit. We don't have any AP... How do we break their... They're gonna spam... What they're gonna do is spam a bunch of blunderbusses. And I don't have any ways to shut that down. So... Yeah, this is gonna be rough. Holy crap. Oh no. Oh no, this is gonna be rough. How do I shut down the... Okay, how... Sothrel Everwatcher? Yeah, let's bring him up. I might just have to bring Sothrel and hope for the best here. Holy crap. That... No. Turn off Metal Shifting, Final Transmutation, and I'm gonna grab Stirring Doom, Final Transmutation. Burning Chariot has 90 range. Not ideal. We shall see what happens there. And maybe pick up a Soul Grinder in case Death Shrieker Rocket Launchers are a thing. Changeling into Kugath. But no, I don't want to play Changeling. Changeling into Kugath. That sounds like prime target for blunderbusses, no? Also, let me not go with a build that is too meta. Danticores are very expensive now, so you don't really see them anymore. So I doubt they're still good. Like, you can't even bring Great Weapon Infantry or Tinge. It's not ideal. We can turn these off, actually. I'll have Rock of Inevitability. And then get an Exalted Hero to fly around. Grab Colossal Strike. I guess I'll just bring this item. And then... Man, it's so expensive. I don't have enough money for anything. Yeah, I guess this will have to do. Changeling 2 meta this guy. No, not Changeling is a meta. Kugath is meta. It's not Changeling that is meta. It's Kugath. It's Kugath. No. No. But yeah, no, I don't feel like playing Kugath. But Changeling is not meta. I do have to admit it's definitely not a meta pick. You know what's the least meta pick here? The Blue Scribes. But yeah, I'll see what happens. I honestly don't know how to. How do I? I'm honestly not sure how to tackle a possible blunderbuss backline. But I don't want to. I don't want to play Kugath. I'll just have to Searing Doom them, and aren't I? Yeah, that, and then maybe I'll bring a Severed. Nah, Severed Claw is. Like that, and then maybe cut something from these guys. I want to use Burning Chariot, but I know it's not gonna be a good idea. I just want to do it, so I'm just gonna keep him there, and that, and then bring another of these guys. And see what happens. I mean, I'm probably gonna lose this one, quite unfortunately, but yeah. Alright, there we go. Whatever. If we die, we die. I just want to play Burning Chariots, man. Because the last time I saw them, it just freaking deletes a poor Skull Cannon. I want to see if it works okay against infantry. Essentially, it's a flying version of Exalted Flamer, right? But yeah. Oh. We shall see. Will this work, or will it end horribly? Probably the horrible side is... Oh, fuck. Alright, sorry, I think there was a bit of a stutter there. Yeah, I'm not sure why, but occasionally this happens. Alright, these two stick together, and we need some stuff to, like, protect our Exalted Flamer. Though we might need to send the Furies into the enemy backline just to, like, keep something like, say, Deathreaker Rocket Launcher silent. We don't have a Soul Grinder, so we can't counter snipe their any possible we can't counter snipe the enemy possible Deathreakers, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Skirmish mode, and then we're ready to go. Alright, ready when you are to my opponent. Okay, there are no Deathreakers, which is good news, I guess. I can go fuck around with the Exalted, the Flamer Chariot, maybe. Oh wait, no! Both throwers! No! Why? Alright, fine. Fine. I'll send my infantry to death. To their death. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, shit. These guys are gonna be wrecked pretty badly. Wait, why did you auto-fire at that? No! Why did you do that? Oh god. Everything's getting deleted. Why are you auto-fire? Oh no, I shouldn't have done that with auto-fire. Well, there goes the Furies. Getting absolutely wrecked there. Alright, ignore them. Just start rushing in. Alright, you go up and you dive those guys and... Right, time to burn them down. You drop in and start dropping Searing Dooms as well. I don't care. Alright. We are just spamming Searing Dooms now, eh? Alright, keep those bolt throwers busy, but things are not looking great, honestly. Alright. Yeah, the Burning Chariot just doesn't have enough ammo to make a difference over here. And whoa, what the fuck is happening? Oh, oh, is that friendly fire? Oh no! Did that friendly fire just nuke this guy? Oh my god! My god, everything just died horribly as soon as they came into 2-second contact with the enemy. What else do I still have on the field? Alright, we'll just have to send them in. Oh, whatever. Oh god. Sathra getting peppered down. Oh, might as well just drop a bolt of change, since I don't really have much else to use it on. Okay, so yeah, the Exalted Flamer does horrible against. Yeah, every bag is worth, to be fair. But there's just too much DACA. Everything I sent in just got deleted by the blunderbusses, and I can't really trade fire against them there. Okay, the Burning Chariot is actually pretty decent, all things considered. Especially consider it wasted a couple shots on some chaff because I have auto fire on, instead of shooting at things that actually matter. Interesting. I'm gonna keep using it. Actually, it's worth testing a bit more. But yeah, definitely needed some more AoE options to nuke those blunderbusses from afar. That Exalted Hero just died horribly in the middle of a bunch of fire glaives, I think those were. While everything else got deleted by blunderbusses, even the Murder Horsemen, who I had to throw into melee combat, which is quite unfortunate there. Yeah, the fire glaives and blunderbusses deleted everything I threw at them. Yeah, but yeah, hey, the Burning Chariot actually did alright, and of course Sathra dropping those Searing Dooms. Unfortunately, I just don't have enough damage output to kill everything from afar. Maybe... Okay, what is the range of a regular Exalted Flamer, eh? That might be a better choice against the Chaos Dwarves, actually. And then have a Soul Grinder to counter shoot any possible... Yeah. That might have been a better choice. And then I have this guy here to drop Searing Dooms and Final Transmutations. Yeah. And then Soul Grinder to counter shoot a Deathshaker rocket launcher. Yeah, that might be the way to go. I mean, for next time at least, not this time, but for next time perhaps. Yeah. Oh well, GG to our opponent though, and very nicely played with a defensive geometry of the Chaos Dwarves, firing it, shooting down everything I threw into that, shooting down everything I threw at their front lines. Alright, let me just grab my phone and check the chat. Because for some reason, yeah, the YouTube chat is still not working for me in the back end. Alright, that is game 1 on our end. And our opponent did secure a solid win. Alright, let me just grab some replay since we still have one more... There's still one more game going on in the background there, so I'm just gonna go and cast a game for now. While we wait for the final game to conclude. Alright. Here we go, Greenskins versus Norska. Creo going with a Gobble Shaman, probably on a Spider. And, we have... Shit, what is his name? Shouking? Shit, what's dude's name? Sail the Faithless. Yeah, Sail the Faithless. Sail the Faithless here versus a Goblin Great Shaman on the Spider. So for army builds here, Greenskin's going with a Goblin frontline. One of them, the 8-peak Loonies Unbreakable with the spinning loons. And backed up by Gobbles and Black Orcs with great weapons ready to cut through any armored infantry, especially Marauder Champions, Bearman, that sort of stuff. I mean, Bearman isn't exactly armored, but still, you can't deal with them with just Goblins and Orc Boys. Salvage or Air Boys and Ruglux Armored Orcs, very standard stuff there. Durkit Squigs and some Orc Boar Boy Biggins, Broken Tusk Mob. So quite a few regiments of renown and very typical of the Greenskins. And let's see the Norskin side. Front line of Marauder Bearmen, a very solid immune to psychology infantry. With some Marauder Berserkers on the flank there. Some Norskins Ice Wolves, Beasts of Tashnar, Ice Trolls backing them up as monstrous infantry, Marauder Hunter Javelins, Skin Wolves, and Norskin Ice Wolves leading the army is Sail the Faithless. We've already seen him, supported by War Mammoth with War Shrine. Sail the Faithless is coming in with Lord of Heavens, Wind Blast, and Chain Lightning. Let's get the battle started. He does have Backstabbing Sorcery. So, wait, he can deal damage to enemy as long as he's casting. Wait, or when his enemy is casting. Oh, his enemy is casting. Yeah, if his enemies cast spells, he was gonna get hit with a damage drain. You can see the Goblin Great Shaman is taking some damage. Not a lot, but considering this Goblin Shaman is gonna be spamming spells, that's gonna accumulate quite a bit over time. That's like what? 200-ish damage every cast. So 10 casts is like 2,000 damage, which is quite a bit, honestly. That's and his spells are all like cheap and being spammed. So yeah, that's gonna take a toll on his HP. Sail the Faithless was just hiding behind a War Mammoth after eating the Vindictive Glare, because he knows even with the damage drain, he's still not gonna outlast the Vindictive Glare spam there. He just simply doesn't have that kind of HP pool. And on top of that, making things worse, Ruglux Armored Orcs are peppering down his HP as well from afar. So he backed up. Now the Norskin Ice Trolls are charging straight in, trying to slam into 8-peak Loonies and deal with them for now. 8-peak Loonies using their 8-peak Loons, spinning Loons to rip away some Marauder Bearmen's HP. though the AP loons themselves taking massive damage from that monstrous charge. Black orcs are holding on a lot better since the goblins eat the damage for them. Goblin Great Shaman should be able to hold out pretty well against the War Mammoth with that anti-large armor piece and sneaky stamina boosting the melee stats. Chain Lightning onto the Raglar's Armored Orcs, but unfortunately didn't do that much damage. While the Murder Horses, throwing axes, and the riders of the Mighty Serpent trying to get some focus fire onto the Goblin Great Shaman, but unfortunately, one, they're blocked by the War Mammoth earlier, two, they are getting pressured by the Orc Warboy Biggins. Over on the other side, Skin Wolves are dealing massive damage to the Dirkit Squigs. They are anti-large. After a while, the Dirkit Squigs don't have much armor to mitigate the incoming damage. Well, on the far side, Broken Tuskmaw beating up Beasts of Tashnar. So they should be able to beat up those Warhounds and come back and help out in a sec. But right now, the Goblin Great Shaman has taken some damage, but Saya the Faithless being pinned down by a bunch of Orc Warboy Biggins, he is not happy about this at all. He is not a fighter character, and is taking... Oh, new round just started. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just gonna... We'll just have come back later, yeah? Let's just get the... we don't want our opponent to wait for too long. Apologies for that. We'll come back to this replay later. I don't want to like just leave my opponent hanging. So we are gonna go and play Hamster Berserker first, and then we're gonna come back soon. We're gonna come back to the replay later. Apologies for that. We still don't know how this battle unfold. Hello, David. How are you doing? Let me just go and set up a lobby. And the next map is Prague. There we go. Just waiting for our opponent to show up now. And they're here. We are going with Tinge once again. And Hamster Berserker is going with Skavens. Oh, I still can't use my... I still can't try out the Burning Chariot. I mean, I'll try to bring him. Probably gonna end horribly, but we shall see what else afterwards. We shall see how it unfolds afterwards. Yeah, it's a very open map as well, so it's gonna be quite vulnerable to shooting. We're gonna be quite vulnerable to shooting. Blue. What can I... Nah, I don't want to... Changeling would be a funny choice, but I don't want to bring him, though. Maybe... Do they have stock? They have hide, but they don't have stock. That's a bit annoying. That... And then we bring a fire caster, perhaps. We can bring a cultist. And then just bring a burning head to roast the front line, while the burning chariot can go and deal with the storm vermins in case there are any of those. Power stone, kindle flame, And then we have a bunch of pink cores to shoot the crap out of everyone on the other side. Grab a lord. On foot. And we're out of funds. Great. It's a great time to be siege. As always, very expensive. Honestly, I'm not sure how this matchup plays out. So, yeah, if this is not the optimal way to play it, then unfortunately, I am... Maybe I'll bring that. I am very sorry if this is not the optimal way to play the game. Yep, let's just bring that, grab that, and then... Sentient Storm... Nah, it's not useful. Take the Severed Claw. They're less vulnerable to enemy missiles. But yeah, welcome everyone. It seems like we are getting quite a few people coming in to check it out. Check out the stream. So just a quick heads up. This is I'm not taking over entirely for the Sunday faction wars over Tequila. I'm just it's just that Tequila Sunset isn't free to host when the faction wars over the weekend. So and I wanted to get some multiplayer games myself, so might as well just host a tourney and get people together and play. So it's like a one-off thing for this week. I'm stealing the time slot from Tequila Sunset. But yeah. Let's see, pink cores and maybe something like that. Maybe I should bring a chariot. Even. Wait, no. What am I thinking? What I should do is just bring spawns. Just bring spawns, jump their front line, burn through them, and I'll let the burning chariot do the rest of the heavy lifting against the heavy infantry, if there's any. And Colossal Strike on this guy. Do I have enough numbers? Yeah, I do have enough numbers. Yeah, let's go, whatever. Alright, ready to go. That sounds like... I don't know, can you hear the blue horse like screeching? Not really screeching, but speaking. That sounds exactly like a certain copyrighted duck from Disney. The resemblance is really uncanny, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, the only thing we really need to do here is just rush. Alright, ready when you are. Good luck, have fun. I probably shouldn't have brought the Burning Chariot. I just want to use it. So, if we lose because of it, so be it. Alright, just waiting for our opponent to proceed. Alright, looks like our opponent is also ready. Oh no! Oh, the Burning Chariots are gonna. It's dead. No, no! I want to use it. Let me use it, guys. All right. Oh, it's shooting at the. Okay, that's fine, I guess. I can send stuff over. Yeah, just jump them from both sides. Just jump those. Wait, what are you doing? Just jump those from all sides. Burning Chariot. Okay, those are the... Alright, let's see. They're there. So I just need to fly them over there. You keep pushing. You walk up and Alright, go shoot that, I guess. You go there. Alright. Go ahead and charge that. You pull out from there. Start pushing, kill that. Go ahead and push that. You keep those 50 breakers occupied, and the Burning Chariot is doing work. It's working. Alright, you guys are out of ammo, so go into melee now. Oof, ow, ow, ow. You fly away. Fly away, fly away! Occupy these guys. You go and fight those, you go and fight those, you keep those, that artillery piece busy, go and shoot that. Go and fight that, actually. Okay, no more artillery against my, Oh shit, these Death Globe Bombardiers are doing a lot of damage. Alright, keep burning that bell. You're almost out of ammo anyways. Might as well just use it. Alright, go in melee. Just charge. Alright, actually charge these guys. You guys are done. So go and fight something else. And I still have a lot of burning heads left, I guess. So that. Fly high, and you fly somewhere else. Keep them busy. You come back here, and you still have a lot of burning heads left, actually. Oh, that was a brilliant. Oh wait, what the fuck do you mean that? That missed? What the fuck is that juke? God damn it! The attack animation screwed over the bolt of change. That was ridiculous. What the fuck? What the fuck was that? Alright, just ignore those storm vermin. You don't need to care about them. Friendly fire, but it's worth it. Alright, yeah, let's just come back. We've dealt with a lot of the routed stuff, so let's keep them routed. We have the fighting power to. Oof! Nobody remembered to capture the point. Fuck. I also didn't have time to capture the point, to be fair. Alright, go ahead and chase these guys out. Damn! The burning chariot's actually good now. What the fuck? Oh, I forgot to use the I forgot to use the power stone. Fuck. Man, I only stopped playing for like 2 weeks. Why am I getting this rusty now? What the fuck? Alright, that's dealt with. Maybe jump them in a bit. We don't have artillery, which is good news for us, I guess. Alright, those are done, dealt with, so...
The cult is ready. Get there.
Alright, those blue horrors are dead, so we can start running back that way. While sent some reinforcements over, and now I can burning head myself. Oh, the burning chariot is still there. Alright, it's still alive. It will live. Okay. No more dodging this time round. I'm not gonna let you... Okay, yeah, no more random juke. Army losses comes. Yeah! GG to my opponent there, and burning chariot worked. I was not expecting that. Almost died, but still managed to earn back the value and then some more. Just focus down some of that Gracier's HP and then charge in and run over the Deathglobe Bombardiers, who are quite expensive and didn't actually earn back their worth. If anything, the Ikigzapzap did more damage in the game. But yeah, I mean, not a lot to talk about here. with the Deathglow bombs. Yeah, it's mostly... The threat was mostly in the early game whether Ikigzapsa threatens to just delete my Burning Chariot and my spawns. The spawns and Severed Claws are really good against Skavens because the Skavens just don't have any good counters against these low model count units. Which is why I sometimes like to bring like Aspiring Champion spam against the Skavens. Yeah. But yeah, the one Fury that managed to survive did so much work there. Knocked out a bunch of Deathglow bombs and then knocked out a Kigzapsat as well. So that's a crap ton of value. And then chased down the Teethbreakers who were already compromised in melees and stuff. And yeah. The characters didn't really see a lot of action. The Cultist Burning Head was mostly the more important thing that cleaned up all these numbers on the Skaven side. And yeah, GG to my opponent. The Deathglow Bombardier spam was an interesting one because it definitely does more damage to low model count units, which is why you can see the Severed Claw with we can't see it right now because they have all their models surviving, but if we were looking at it in the middle of the battle, then they were like around half health, which is mostly what the Deathglow Bombardiers were doing to them. They have really good burst damage against low model count units, but which seems to be the case, but yeah. We managed to keep that Burning Chariot alive and did a lot of heavy lifting. And yeah, conserved our single entities were also barely touched at all. Yeah. GG. Alright, we are going into round 3, which is up against the Wood Elves. Huh. Interesting. Oh, I definitely missed out on a bunch of chat. Our spawns are probably the best spawns. Yeah, they have Terror, which is very important against the Skavens. And Burning Chariot is my favorite unit in the game, which it felt like a T5 unit. They're so fragile, though. They're more like a small breeze, and they're gonna crumble back to the warp. The Charge Duke. Yeah, I didn't realize the attack animation on the Grey Seer was so good at dodging. Like, what the fuck, dude? that was a homing missile too. Ugh. Route Ogres to the left to break. Hummus would shed a tear of joy. They're also probably the healthier units in the in the entire army, so which makes sense. But yeah, I mean, it's Skavens. Nothing like they don't have Storm Vermin here, so yeah, nothing really in particularly high leadership department there. So Rat Ogres, yeah, probably it really makes sense. Yeah, all right. What else? I want to bring Burning Chariot, but I feel I'm just gonna bring Burning Chariot. Fuck it. Like, the better choice is to bring a couple Exalted Flamer instead of Burning Chariot, honestly. What? Why does it have so much more range? It makes no sense. And more ammo too. Oh, fuck, I'll bring Exalted Flamer. It doesn't make sense to bring Burning Chariot here because you're just gonna get outshot by the Wood Elves anyway. So yeah, I'll try to go Flamers and Yeah, that was what I was thinking, Mew Mew. Burning Chariot, just it's just gonna get shot to death. So I might as well just not do that. Yeah, it's just not ideal. Instead, I'll bring Exalted Flamer, which is close enough, I guess. And see what happens. Alright, what am I going to bring for mobility and not choice? Right, I don't have enough. Alright, let's just cut some stuff out. Disc Boy might be a good one here. I would agree with that. But I will also want to just troll around sometimes with unit choices. Just bring some cheap blue horrors to chuck stuff out at the Wood Elves, and then I might get a caster instead. Just pink. Siege Firestorm. Actually, I might actually go Kairos here. This is not a troll option at all. Just saying. Bring that and then Scroll of Eternity, Gaze of Fate, and Flamestorm. Should be good. Like, if I can lock down their the Wood Elves' expensive cavalry, and then just drop a Flamestorm on top of them, they're gonna be screwed. But yeah, Blue Fire, and yeah, I think this will be it. And Life Leeching, I guess. And we still have some extra funds left. More like, yeah, that. Life Leeching, Gaze of Fate, Scroll of Destiny is very ooh, yeah, I'll definitely bring a Scroll of Destiny for more magic. Void Pendulum. I'm just gonna not use that. Right, maybe we can send the Shrieking Skyrays to, like, dive on. Nah, just bring more Furies. Probably would be a better choice here. Yeah, I think that's about it. Still have some extra funds left, which is a problem that we need to spend. Whatever. We'll just bring 3 Danglers. Alright, if they send their... Chaos Knights are good versus Wood Elves. That is definitely true. But I don't have enough money. I want to play with Flamers today, so... Like, after spending for Flamers, I don't have enough money for Knights, which is quite unfortunate. Yeah. Also, I guess my way to counter Knight would be... counter enemy Cav. Possible Cav is just drop Firestorm in there with a Gaze of Fate locking them down. Specifically for Wild Hunters of Kurnus, if they ever appear. They might not appear, to be fair, and instead we might just see a bunch of trees and stuff. We shall see. Yeah. Alright, ready to go. Good luck, have fun to my opponent. Cav is a good target for long range blue fire too. Yes, for sure. But sometimes you just need to like delete them instead of slowly chip them away. So yeah. Like if I'm playing safer, I definitely wouldn't be bringing Flamer. Instead, I'll be spamming Chaos Knights, as you would expect. But hey, I'm feeling Flamer today. All right. I wonder if I could bring a full Vanguard army as Tinge to troll Wood Elves in the future. It's probably possible. It's most likely possible, but it might not be too competitive, honestly. Yeah, maybe I'll do a full Vanguard later, maybe? I'll see. Alright, so their archers do outrange me, and if I want to burn the Wood Elves, I need to make sure the Exalted Flamer is away from the enemy, whatever archers they have. Well, I do want the Flamer to stand quite forward. Yeah, I have to always be aware of possible archer threats, and yeah. Alright, looks like my opponent's ready, so we're gonna press start. Oh, shite! What the fuck? They went for the unexpected route. Oh shit! Nobody expected double dragon. What the fuck? Okay, this is bad. And no spellcaster either. Alright, go and delete them. Shoot everything down. Alright, Hunters of Kurnos done. Kara's go and shoot that thing down. Wait, what the what was that accuracy, bro? That was horrible.
We must flee! The infinite weed.
And why are you still stuck in there? Come this way. Go for your own troops. Right, go and shoot that, please. If you could, if you may. Okay, you can't shoot that. Never mind. Karos, stick to them. Oh, the tree! The tree was blocking the. Oh, we're getting some good damage done. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, another volley out, please. I need you to shoot once more. How much damage, I wonder, does these things do? Not a lot. Oh, I forgot to capture the point, damn it. The other flamer is dead, so that is not ideal. Capture the point. I need to kill one of the dragons at least to have a chance. And blue fire is not doing great damage here, unfortunately. Alright, I think it's time to spam blue fire then. Okay, one dragon's down. We can jump. Is that? They do have Helm of Discord, which is a bit of a problem.
We went there. We have moved.
Yeah, just nuke it down. Slowly but surely. Alright, I think we can get this I think we should be able to get this. The whole Flamestorm, Siege Firestorm idea of deleting enemy cavalry was pretty nice. That basically nuked the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. They still managed to get some damage done, but nothing too insane. Alright, that's done for. Kill the Lord. And that's army losses, I think. Yeah. Which is okay, so the Flamers did, one of them did alright, I think. The other not so much. They were stuck in melee for a bit. Yeah, one of them did alright, still not able to earn back its worth. The other not so much, but the Furious did pretty meh, but the Zangors done really well. One of them done really well. This one, okay, nothing too crazy, but the Blue War Flame Sprams were just like chucking everything into these Lost Sylvan Knights and War Dancers who are quite fragile, and the Warp Fire they possess were very lethal to the rather expensive and glass cannony War Dancers, even after the Woven Mist ability that mitigates that incoming missile damage. And because they turn on Woven Mist, they are actually more susceptible to damage in melee due to the melee defense reduction. Yeah. I think the Zangors also have immune to psychology. Yeah. Oh, Karos didn't actually do that much damage. It's mostly done with the blue fire spam on the Spellsinger and the Flamestorm, the Siege Firestorm on the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. But yeah, I feel like this Wood Elf build, I love the idea of going a melee rush, but ultimately I feel like this Wood Elf build has too much physical resistance. The Lost Sylvan Knights, the War Dancers, they are all very vulnerable to the magic damage of Siege, so yeah. Yeah, the cavalry has physical resistance. Even the forest dragons have physical resistance, so that was quite unfortunate. Because you're up against Siege and everything has magic damage. What else getting protected by a tree for once? How noble. Usually when they're firing in the forest, they're just gonna be hindered by the trees. But yeah, for once, the tree is working in their favor. The funnier thing is this is not a natural tree. This is obviously, that was a very obvious, like, well-maintained tree in the middle of a park or something like that. Locking down one of the dragons and setting both flamers on it and blue fire from long range would have gotten into like 1/3 off the bat. Yeah, I definitely should have done that, but at the same time, I was very aware of I was more aware of the Wild Hunters of Kurnos and possible other cavalry, which is why I didn't use the Gaze of Fate, because I had to save it to hunt down and make sure those Wild Hunters of Kurnos are dead, because they do magic damage and that means they do extra damage to my demons. Oh, blue fire needs range to hit at like at 150 minimum. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the first time I use a blue fire spam, so I was never too familiar with this tactic myself. I was usually on the receiving end, on the other side of the battlefield, so I'm very well aware of how annoying it can be, but yeah. I wasn't aware that you'd actually have to put some distance between you and the target to make it work. The vulnerability of Wood Elves to magic attacks was so great that CA had to give Treemen magic resistant auras. It would have been simpler to replace physical resistance with damage resistance. Yeah, but then again, you have an army entirely with damage resistance, which doesn't make sense. At that point, you might as well give them more HP, because like in this game, the damage resistance abilities are not just like a blanket free trait. Like for example, if you look at the Grail Knights, they have damage resistance, but there is a condition for the damage resistance to work. Otherwise, you're basically just giving them extra HP for free. And for the Grail Knights, the condition is they cannot rout. Once they rout, they lose the blessing, they lose the damage resistance. So damage resistance, I think, for CA is something they give out a lot more carefully than physical resistance. Physical resistance can exist without condition, just for something say like physical or magical resistance are given out without any reason, just to be something like say lore reason that makes them more resistant to certain attack and stuff like that. But the damage resistance is, I think, is a lot more is a lot better in terms of damage. It is a much better damage mitigation because of how versatile it can be. Wait, hold on. I need to join the lobby. Not really with the physical resistance coming from dodging. Yeah, so I don't feel like it can be. I don't feel like physical resistance can be replaced just by damage resistance, in my opinion. Many units with physical resistance have invulnerable saves that worked against everything on tabletop. I don't know why CA decided not to give the same. Oh, do they? Huh. I'm not too familiar with the tabletop terms, so like I looked into the rules of Warhammer 40k before, but for the old fantasy, I never really pay attention to the rules, so I don't entirely know. Treemen in campaign almost gave all give some sort of protection aura. Because in tabletop it was a chance, not a given reduction. Yeah. Yeah, because on tabletop you always roll on everything. Like, even after rolling, you still have to roll even if you roll after the hit chance, you still have to roll for armored saves. And it's not like the armor values, this armor save value kind of works like that. But it's very hard to simulate the same thing from tabletop to transfer it from tabletop to the game itself. Anyways, Norska. They're gonna bring Chimera. Did I limit Chimeras to 1? I forgot. Oh, Chimera 1 per army. Okay, it's possible to bring Burning Chariots now. Let me just bring 1. And I'll bring... Hmm. Bring a change bringer. Bring a bunch of murder horsemen off siege. They're gonna be plowing straight through my front line with familiars and stuff, huh? Maybe I can just bring these and then just have a bunch of mobility on the field. Oh wait, no, I'd have no money now. Cause it's siege. Everything's expensive as fuck. Colossal Strike, and let's see, can we get... Should I go Burning Hand or should I go Final Trends? Maybe I should just go, maybe I should just go Sathrel. Or, Caster. Hold on, Sathrel, the Everwatcher, he's expensive as hell though. Starting Doom, Final Transmutation, and that should be fine. And I'm out of money. Great. Does this work? I wonder. Like, with Double Furies and a Sathrel, I think I should be able to handle a Chimera. And then I've got a Warrior's back line in case I need to just push back. Push back familiars. Oh wait, why am I bringing these guys? They're just gonna get swarmed by Kurgan horsemen anyways. Alright, so wait, no. It's going to be max Kurgan horsemen. I can feel it. I can feel them coming. Maybe it is indeed a Kairos situation here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Kairos again. And I won't even bother with Firestorm this time, because it's gonna be... Yeah, it's gonna be a... it's gonna be a Kurgan Horseman situation, I feel like. I can feel it. So just grab a few blue horrors to shoot down any Kurgan horseman that tries to get close, I guess. And then just pray to Tinge that Double Furies plus Kairos are able to deal with a Chimera. Because there's a good chance that won't work. I don't know. This is a bit rough. He's a fake scroll. Destiny, Living Life, Leeching. Arcane, great Arcane Conduit. And then we still have some leftover funds that we can't use on anything. I think this is the main build, and then just drop a little bit of money on something. Yeah, we'll bring Oracle. Oracle of turn. Yeah, we'll just bring those, and I want a convergence because we have the money, so why not? Right, done. I wonder if instead of just having a full roster of magic damage, should they just like eliminate the magic damage on mortal units, or maybe eliminate them from like marauders and maybe Zangors, and then just give blue horrors and pink horrors some spells and call it a day. Like they could just give blue horrors like bound fireball or something. And it would be a nicer way to implement the magic damage gimmick than just a full roster of magic damage. Because it's not only screwing over the Wood Elves, right? Because there's also other factions and units that rely on like physical resistance and stuff. So, yeah. Mark of Tinge gives ward save. Wait, well, that's kind of the Tinge barrier ability, so it's fine. I think it's already like adopted here. Alright, just waiting for our opponent to be ready. Meanwhile, I am going to download some replay files while we're at it. Alright, I think I've got all the replays, except the other replay that is still, the other game that is still ongoing in the background right now. Yeah, let's head on into the battlefield and hope for the best. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. It takes some time for the logos to pop up. Was worried a sec that it was land battles and not conquest, which is also fine, honestly. So it's clear they wanted to avoid war saves in Total War and created an entire faction ability just so Siege would have something different. Yeah, it actually makes sense because war save overall is just such a good like protection trait, right? It just mitigates all incoming damage. Not only with like, I think ward save. There might be damage sources that cannot be mitigated by ward save, or are less likely to be mitigated by ward save in on a tabletop or something, right? Not entirely sure. Again, I'm not too familiar with the tabletop of Warhammer Fantasy. But yeah. I feel like war save is just too good of a thing to happen here, so it makes sense why they don't want to use it all the time. Like it's just a blanket like it's just a blanket damage negation. Alright, I think I'm done. Like, because the war save isn't just, like... isn't just function there as a ward save, it can also stack with other kinds of protection as well, like you stack physical resistance on top of it. Essentially, it just gives your unit extra HP without any, like, caveats. I don't know, I still don't think ward save should be like a common thing all over the place. Especially like ward save, if you give one army ward save as like a universal trait, that means no other armies can just use that anymore. Like, cause you want every army to have different gimmicks and stuff. So, all right. Team passive gives 10% ward save is when casting. Oh yeah, that's true. I also brought that passive, I think, so. Wait, I forgot to turn on this. Because I'm very bad at microing. Oh no! There are two flying single entities. Oh shit! Oh shit! Right, we need to pull back a bit, let them go and shield, go and absorb those damage. Alright, they're charging back some shields now. We'll let them do some charging right now. Alright, sorry, I'm just gonna go a little bit quiet right now, cause I can't divert myself into talking now. Alright, Kairos is doing so much heavy lifting right now. Holy shit. Alright. Pull back. Pull back. Alright, go and kill that now. Go and jump them down. Alright, oh, damn, the trees again! Not the trees! Oh shit, it also missed? What the fuck? Why are you missing so much? Bolt of change! Oh, that was a beautiful breath attack. I also made the mistake myself on that. Yeah. Right. Alright, it's basically a chariot now. The burning chariot is really a chariot now. Oh shit, the Chimera is going to heal. That is annoying. And I'm running out of skirmishing troops. Not ideal. Oh shit, the burning chariot just died. Not enough infantry. Yeah, things are not ideal right now. Oh shit! Oh no! I even have a miscast damage! Yeah, I think this is GG. That was a very unfortunate miscast damage too. That was no ideal. Do that. Okay, this time it didn't miss the bolt of change. For once. But yeah, I think this is GG. Carlos is gonna die soon. He's not gonna get out alive. If I have a flamestorm, that would be a very funny, but unfortunately that is not the case. He's fading away. Oh, I can't. Army losses. GG. Oh well, that was a good game. The warriors didn't do anything. Fuck. Maybe I should have just went for spears instead. Yeah, if I went for spears, I would have more money for some more furies and. Oh no, the burning chariot didn't do anything. It's Kairos doing some decent damage and some of the javelins. Oh no. Yeah. There were no great targets, to be honest. If there was a mammoth, then it would be amazing for the burning chariot. There were no mammoths, and the Chaos Frost Dragon has mostly been staying away from the range of the burning chariot. And the Chimera is a little bit too small for a reliable hit from the burning chariot. Very nice kiting from our opponent there, though, using a spam of Horsemasters and Murder Horsemen combined. Just overpowering my skirmishing with sheer numbers, and Murder Bearman, as always, very cost efficient with Sael the Faithless using those Chain Lightning to nuke my Chaos Warriors. GG! Yeah. I mean, it's a very skirmishy battle, so it turns out there's not a whole lot of damage from either side, but yeah. Kairos Fate Weaver took a lot of chipping damage every time he was dragged into the fight by Chaos Frost Dragon and of course the Bloodshriek Chimera, which is a very strong single entity fighter, which I have nothing to help out Kairos against. If I have an Exalted hero, it might have a better chance, but the money went into the Burning Chariot. So yeah, no money for the Exalted hero. No money for the Exalted hero of Siege. GG. Oh, miscast and Sael's passive. I forgot. Oh, right, yeah. I forgot about Sael's passive. I was spamming spells too, and that accumulated a lot of damage on Kairos. Yeah, that was not ideal. Unfortunately, I also don't have any healing to mitigate it. Anyways, the Faith of Siege, or unless if I went for Sathrel, that would have been better. That would have been a better pick against Sael the Faithless. Because I'll probably just be using Final Transmutation and be done. Excuse me. World of Change feels kind of wimpy. Yeah, it does. Alright, that is the end of our run. We got 2 wins out of 4, which is not too bad, not too bad. But at the same time, I think Pasha got like a 4-win streak, and will be reigning champion in this Sunday's Faction Wars. And GG to everyone playing, and oh shit, spoiler. Spoiler of all the battles. Alright, don't forget what I just said. But yeah, anyways, we are moving on into the replay section now. Now that we have all the replay files, or most of the replay files. Yeah. Let's see what games do we have to check out. Let's see. This is the one that we watched halfway through, and we need to jump back in. Right. Let me just quickly reorganize the replay files. I think I'm missing one. Yep, there we go. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. We might still be missing some replays, but whatever. I'll just cast whatever I received. If we're missing something, then unfortunately I can't cast what I don't have. But yeah, other than that, we'll just go through what we have right now. And starting with the Greenskin versus Norska that we exited halfway through. Should be a fun one. Alrighty, let's fast forward because we watched it halfway through already. Let's refresh the army builds. Frontline for the greenskins, an army of goblins in the frontline, including the Apex Loonies, backed up by some Salvage Orc Air Boys, regular armored orcs, Durkit Squigs, and a bunch of Orc Boy Biggins, with a Spider Great Shaman leading the army. On the other side, for the Norskins, War Mammoth, double Ice Trolls, backing up a line of Bearmen, very solid, immune to psychology, mid-tier infantry, with some Mortar Berserkers, Javelins, Hunters, Skin Wolves, Ice Wolves, Murder Horsemen, including the Riders of the Mighty Serpent, and some more Ice Wolves, and the Beasts of Tashnar. So we're gonna fast forward a bit. We've seen like half of this already. Yeah. So basically, Sayal eat a bunch of damage from the Vindictive Glare, while the Goblin Great Shaman didn't take that much damage due to a thick HP pool on the Spider. The frontline clash, Bearmen and Ice Trolls crushing the Apex Loonies. Loonies dropped in a spinning loons in the early game to rip through some of these murder Bearmen. Sayal though ate some crossbow bolts from the armored orcs, so he's not having a lot of health either. At the back there, Orc Air Boys are firing into the front line. Berserkers cleaving their way through those gobbles, and the gobbles are no match against these Berserker infantry. Skin Wolves tearing apart those Durkit Squigs. Their lack of armor really don't help them in this kind of fight right now. While Sayal the Faithless got caught by a bunch of Bacon Cav or Boy Biggins with their anti-large armor piercing. Sayal the Faithless definitely not enjoying the fight whatsoever. On the far side, the Broken Tusk mob will be beating down the Beasts of Tashnar, and why is really helping the Greenskins to duke out a little bit more damage, but the Goblin front line is mostly crumbling in front of a combination of Bearmen, Berserkers, and Monstrous Infantry like Ice Trolls and Skin Wolves. Black Orcs fighting a lot better though. They're holding on just fine, but they're not killing things fast enough due to their lackluster melee attack, 36 versus the 35 melee defense. So the Bearmen can still hold their own pretty well against the Black Orcs. And you can see with the Goblins crumbling, the melee troops are able to flood into the back line. Their Salvage or Air Boys are being driven back, and these guys are... Oh no, these guys are aiming at the Mortar Horsemen. So they're trying to chase after their target, which means they're walking into danger as the Skin Wolves are now in melee contact with them. And also Berserkers and all that. So yeah, well, that was quite unfortunate. That's why you might want to have guard mode on. Not only because you want your missiles to keep shooting in melee, but also because they would not give chase to enemy units if they move out of range. So they wouldn't leave their position and start walking into melee for some weird reason. But yeah, with the Mammoth and the melee troops pushing through, Royalist Armored Orcs are also being driven back, while Sayal the Faithless has been sniped out by a spam of Vindictive Glare. The Goblin Great Shaman walks in and tries to challenge the War Mammoth with a sneaky stabbing buff, but he's putting himself right in front of all these Mortar Horses, especially in throwing axes with that armor piercing. It is gonna really chip down the health of the Goblin Great Shaman with nothing really to screen them out. The Air Boys are all offline, and the Broken Tusk mob finally returning from killing those Ice Wolves on Beasts of Tashnar on the far side, but now they're completely surrounded and overwhelmed by two different Ice Trolls units. And a Goblin Great Shaman is taking some damage. Yes, he can put out some good damage against enemy monsters, but damn, the massive hitbox, especially that butt, not great for mitigating incoming missiles attack. And yeah, our Boba Biggins are piling in, but I don't think there's any saving them for the Goblin Great Shaman. And once the Goblin Great Shaman goes down, things are gonna snowball downhill really fast for the Greenskins. And I don't think the Goblin Great Shaman won't survive this. One more volley, or maybe just 2 projectiles, and then he would be dead. I wasn't really paying attention to the Hunters with Javelins. They must have done some... Yeah, they have done a lot of good work too. I'm gonna rewatch the replay a bit just to see what they have been up to. Because I wasn't paying much attention to them. I need to check it out again. Give me a second. Missing yours from round 4. Alright. Yeah, I think I got it. I just haven't refreshed the replays. So it was still the replays like before I added the file. You'll see it after I load back into the replay afterwards, but yeah. Alright, Alright, pay attention to the javelins and see what they were up to. And also pay some more attention to the Goblin Great Shaman duking it out against the Mammoth, because I wasn't looking at it earlier as well. So, anyway, Sael ate a bunch of crossbow bolts and Vindictive Glare, so he was not having a good time. And the chain lightning wasn't going in the right way, unfortunately. Now javelins, sitting back and shooting at Orc War Begins. At 85 armor, the armor is not bad, but is also not the greatest either. So with all that anti-large bonus coming in from the Murder Hunters with Javis, yeah, that is a lot of damage for these Bacon Cav. And these riders of the Mighty Serpent and Murder Horses are just kind of chilling at the back here and throwing everything they have at a Goblin Great Shaman who has the butt facing them with a massive hitbox too. Yeah, the Orbobagans unfortunately are just falling victim to those javelin throws. Gonna fast forward a little bit more. Taking a lot of damage. That 85 armor really isn't enough. Yeah, more and more damage being taken, and the Goblin Great... Ooh, that was unfortunate. The Broken Tusk has been forgotten after they chased off the Beast of Tashnar. While the War Mammoth is pretty much unstoppable, the Orc Airboys are all shut down, so there's no Daka to shoot down this massive beastie. And the Javelins continue to fire and wreak havoc amongst those Orc Warboy Biggins. Getting some decent damage once again, but I think they're gonna start turning over to the Goblin Great Shaman and where are they? Oh, they're shooting at the Orc Warboy Biggins. Yeah, they do so much damage, man. And the poor Goblin Great Shaman just getting bullied by the Mammoths now. Alright, fast forward, and then we are going into the post-battle screen. What you can see is the missiles on the Norskin side doing a lot of heavy lifting here, while the infantry... Damn, the Ice Trolls did pretty decent, actually. Same goes for the Skin Wolves and War Mammoth. Focusing down on the Redlux Armored Orcs, Goblin Great Shaman, and different cavalry units as well. The Greyskin Cavalry did some okay work, not able to earn back their worth, unfortunately, as they were hit hard by those Javelin spams. Unit. Not really spam, there's only one Javelin Hunter, and unfortunately, the Broken Tusk were forgotten for most of the battle on the other side after chasing off the Beast of Tashnar. So, yeah, that was unfortunate for them as well. But yeah, a single front line of goblins are not going to be enough against the monstrous infantry of the Norskins. Not only with the Ice Trolls, but also they have Famirs, they have Skin Wolves, they have way too much stuff to just dumpster these gobbles. So I don't feel like you would want to just have gobbles to protect your archer backline, really. The Goblin Great Shaman did alright, but yeah. Those trolls were tough, scared away my goblin until he got into my archers immediately, and then I couldn't screen away the cav. Yeah, I was surprised that there is not a single Kurgan horseman on the field. I would expect a lot of those in the 20, but, well, 2 games of Norskins so far, and not a single Kurgan horseman in sight. Which, I'm surprised. RX really needs strong support to do much. One of the problem is they just have such a huge hitbox. They're just so easy to be targeted in both melee and in range. Yeah, it can only attack units in front of them, and it doesn't, like, for stuff like Stagadons, it has the tail sweep, tail crash or whatever, tail attack animation that beats up stuff from behind them. But the Ragnarok Spider can only attack stuff in front with its mouth. So it has a very limited targeting area. And that's why it's only good against single entities, really. And instead of fighting blob fights. Kurgans aren't that good. Oh, okay. I mean, Kurgans are very fragile, but they're a high-risk, high-reward unit, right? But yeah, they're very fragile, so which explains why people don't want to use them. I myself haven't played Norsca much lately, so I can't really say much about them. Alright, next up we have let's go for something else. We have Wood Elves versus Skavens this time. Once again, a very melee rushy army with double dragons. We shall see how that goes. Alright. Let's slow down a bit here. We have Spiky going with Wood Elves, a front line of War Dancers, and Vanguard deployed Wildwood Rangers. That is bold, but I don't think that's going to pay off against Skaven. Especially, they have a possibility of bringing Poisoning Globes. They can just chuck them onto the Wildwood Rangers, and the Wildwood Rangers would die a horrible, horrible death with nothing they can do about it. Anyways, there are also one Eternal God and 2 dragons flying in the skies. Leading the army is Glade Lord, supported by a Spellsinger of Life with Earthblood and Earthblood only. The Glade Lord... Oh, and I think there's a Glade Captain somewhere. Alright, yeah, Glade Captain's right in front. All the way on the other side, on the Vanguard deployed on the front. With Dance of Loek to boost units nearby, while the Glade Lord has the Call of the Woods and Banner of the Hunter King. So plus 10 melee attack and the plus 5 melee defense. And then another plus 5 melee attack. So 15 melee attack if stacked on together in a melee blob. But the problem is, can they get the melee blob going? I doubt that. How about Discord though? Another piece of melee stat modifying abilities / item. And on the other side for the Skaven, they are boxing up hard. Clan Rats surrounding... Clan Rats and... No, these are... yeah, Skaven Slaves, yeah. Clan Rats, Skaven Slaves wrapping around the Storm Vermins. Oh, this is gonna be rough. With Warlock Sails in between and more Storm Vermins. Oh man, the Wood Elves really need to conserve these Wildwood Rangers. As they would be a great tool to deal with the Storm Vermins with their excellent melee attack and bonus versus infantry. While the Forest Dragon, their breath attacks will also be very useful. But right now, seems like the Glade Captain is getting absolutely sniped by those Warblock Jezzails. He will have to back the hell out of there. Wildwood Rangers, why are you going up first? Stay back! Let the War Dancers clear the chaff while you go wait and go in as reserve against the Storm Vermins. But yeah, Wolven Mists are all on right now. So these War Dancers won't take much. Like, this is exactly why you want the War Dancers to like charge in first and take the brunt of damage. No, why are you breath attacking the Warlock Jezzails? You need to breath attack the Storm Vermins. No. Anyways, seems like some of these Wild Rangers are taking damage in the melee fight already. This would be a beautiful juicy stack for AoE damage, but seems like Racier of Ruin, you need the Scorch. Scorch this. Scorch this. That is so much value in this one blob. Anyways, War Dancers forgotten to take off their Woven Mist. All right, here comes the Scorch. But the War Dancers. It's a Storm. It's a Dread of 13 summon, but unfortunately, it mostly missed as the War Dancers were pushing forward to chase after the routed enemies. Yeah, the Wood Elf army still haven't remembered to turn on the Woven Mist. So, while the Jezzails have been targeting the double dragons and sniping out quite a bit of their health, this is why you need to breath attack those Storm Vermins. They're still very healthy right now. While the Rangers pushing in, while the Glade Captain, where are you? Oh, she's in here. Okay. Duking out against Storm Vermins, but the War Dancers have pushed up and try to threaten the Warlock Jezzails back. Nice breath attack, but unfortunately mostly hitting... Oh wait, these are, yeah, Clan Rat Spears only, so... Yeah, unfortunate. Still not doing a whole lot of work. While the Forest Dragon, though, still having quite a bit of HP, is able to terrorize some of the Jezzails at the back line, and the Wildwood Rangers can start, like, duking out more damage, dishing out more damage against the Storm Vermins. Let's see if they have the unique ability triggered. They have the Banner of the Hunter King and Call of Woods from the Glade Lord, the Melee Lord. So plus 10 melee attack in total, 43 melee attack plus bonus versus infantry, making them trade quite well against the Storm Vermins. But if they can get the Forest Dragon over closer, they might be able to turn this on and get even more melee attack with the Guardians of the Wildwood activated. But I don't know if they need I'm not sure if they need enemy units to be terror causing, or can they do it with friendly units as well. No, yeah, they need actual enemy units to cause terror. Never mind. So they're not gonna use that Guardian of the Wildwood then. Yeah, but still they can enjoy some melee attack buffs from the Glade Captain and Glade Lord with with their own stuff. Wolf and Mist. Turn off the Wolf and Mist. Those War Dancers, they need to turn off their Wolf and Mist. Well, the fact that they've forgotten to turn off their Wolf and Mist means that the War Dancers will be a lot less durable, down to 19 melee defense, as they were too focused on dodging missiles. Or blocking missiles, I would say. But yeah, right now there's still one Giselle online. The 2 dragons managed to break off the other 2 Giselles. The problem is the Wood Elf infantry are slowly running out. It's not really slowly, they're quite quickly running out, if anything. And they don't have any like light and cheap mobility to chase off these routed Giselles, either to punish these routed troops. So the dragons will have to do that brunt of chasing. And yeah, as you can see here, they're just not doing great. Like, it's not the best use of their time, as they were very much needed to breath attack those storm vermins, to terrorize enemy infantry and whatnot. Wildwood Rangers. Oh wait, no, they're not fighting storm vermins. They're fighting clan reds. Why are you fighting clan reds? Fight the storm vermins, man. And more breath attack once again onto the Giselles. I would say this is a massively wasted opportunity. You need to use them onto enemy storm vermins. That's your best way of clearing out their That's your best way to clear out their elite infantry here, and they have a lot of elite infantry left. Now, and instead, your dragons don't have a whole lot of breath attacks left, one use on each side. The dragons will have to be the mainstay of holding power and the damage output for the Wood Elves here, as the infantry are almost done for. But this forest dragon has overstayed their welcome in the middle of a bunch of Clanrat spears and taking a bunch of attrition damage. They don't have a whole lot of armor to begin with, being a forest dragon. So yeah, that is not ideal. Wolf and Mist still on. Yeah, this is one. This is a very common mistake for anyone playing with War Dances. You turn on one stance and you just forgot to switch it off in a later game. So you just have that stance on the whole time and suffering from the debuffs from it. Oh no, the Spellslinger of Life has been routed as the Storm Vermin is holding strong. This is a Dread of 13 summon, so it will be gone soon. But the other ones are not. They're real. They're very much real and ready to murder some elves. The Glade Lord is still duking it out in the middle of armored infantry. It's easy to forget swapping things like that when your attention is constantly shifting. Yeah, unfortunately, that is exactly what happens when you have like 100 things to micro in a single battle. We saw a breath attack earlier, but unfortunately the storm vermins were moving, and that means that breath attack was mostly missing its target. So no more breath attack for this one. This one still have one breath attack. Can it actually work? No! Why are you breath attacking the Lord? No! Breath attack the storm vermin. I know you want to kill the Lord, but you need to thin out the storm vermin support for sure. And like, you can just jump the Lord with 2 dragons and kill it, but you can't jump the storm vermins as efficiently to kill them. So yeah, that's not ideal. Oh, looks like we have a filthy Death Frenzy, plus 24 melee attack, giving massive buff to the Storm Vermin's melee attack, and they should be able to do some good damage, shredding through the HP, the remaining HP of these Forest Dragons. These Forest Dragons might want to get out of there for now, and instead of staying there trying to like double team the Gracier. They can take the Gracier at a later fight, but the Dragons need to conserve every bit of HP they can, especially Spellslinger. What are you doing? Get out of there! You can't afford to be routed again. You need to stay alive and heal these dragons. Alright, the Gracier is down, and the Gracier is down. There's a massive break from all these Skaven slaves and stuff, and the Storm Vermins are able to whittle down the Forest Dragon though. Can the Spellslinger get out a heal? Yes, another Earthblast coming soon to keep these Forest Dragons alive, and there are still some Storm Vermins all the way on the other side of the battlefield, unable to come and reinforce in time, being distracted by some tattered War Dancers. And yeah, the dragon is still holding strong as the Storm Vermins losing their leadership anchor might mean doom for the Skavens. As everything on the Skaven side will be a lot more vulnerable to tear out, even the Storm Vermins. They are elite of Skavens, but they're still Skavens at heart. And yes, you can see right here, the tear out has kicked in. The Widow player made the same mistake when he fought your team. Yeah, it happens. Sometimes I forget about the stance changes as well. Which is why if I bring Black Orcs, I never use their stance ability. Yeah, because it just... I would just forget about it when I don't need it, and they would still get fucked over. But yeah, Storm Vermins are converging with Clan Rats, trying to get an alpha strike and just do a big, massive engagement against all these Widows. But the problem is there are a lot of like Skaven scattered around. This is not the full power of the Skaven army, and on top of that, they lost their Grey Seer. Without the leadership support, everything starts terror-outing from the might of the two forest dragons here. The Clan Rat starts routing, and then it turns into oh wait, Meat Shield doesn't really route, doesn't really lead to chain routes on Storm Vermin. But either ways, the Storm Vermin still tear out nonetheless. Oh, Friends routing, yeah. One Storm Vermin routes, and then the second route, and then everything just chain routes. Army losses hit, and that shall be victory for the Wood Elves, as their double dragon is it's a bit rough for a Skaven army that doesn't have rattling guns. Yeah, I feel like the Giselles were too focused on shooting at Glade Captain earlier, but it might also be because the dragons weren't in range, so there's that. But yeah, definitely could have applied these Wildwood Rangers a little bit better there, and obviously the War Dancers needed to switch stance. But overall, the dragons managed to carry the day, while the infantry has been cleaved asunder by all these War Dancers just fine. So basically, if you're fighting chaff like Skaven Clan Rats and Skaven Slaves, what you want to do with War Dancers is to switch them to the defensive stance and sacrifice some melee attack for more melee defense, because that will give you a lot more damage, like melee attack mitigation against the Skavens, while at the same time your damage output won't be that much affected, because you have bonus versus infantry, you have decent enough melee attack stats. It will be more than enough to overwhelm the Clan Rat spears and whatever Skaven units' defenses, while reducing that combat attrition on your War Dancers by a significant amount. And it's just more cost efficient to use those War Dancers that way. And unfortunately, forgetting to turn off the Woven Mist was a big problem for the War Dancers, so they weren't quite able to earn back their worth, but that's fine. The dragons managed to carry the day for this one. And especially the Terra and the powerful single entity melee attacks, while the Skavens didn't manage to snipe down those dragons in time. And yeah, the Storm Vermins tried hard to carry this one, but unfortunately that is just not happening, with the dragons sniping on their lord and then just terrifying everything still standing on the Skaven side. Spikes, that is a better version of the Wood Elf build, I think. Yeah, that's fair. Let me think. This build is definitely more balanced. In the sense that you have a bit more of infantry support, and didn't waste money on the Lost Silver Knights. The Double Dragon is still there, and I like the use of the melee stat buffs, but I think the Glade Captain really isn't necessary over here. Neither is the Glade Lord. You're probably better off with Waystalker and Glade Lady, I think. Because their melee abilities aren't really needed here. You're mostly relying on the Double Dragon to just blast everything out with their breath attacks and terrorize the battlefield. Wildwood Rangers is an interesting idea, actually. I might play some Wood Elves and bring some Wildwood Rangers in my next tourney. Alright, next up, Greenskins versus Chaos Dwarfs. Back to Greenskins action now. Alright, let's slow down a bit here. For the greenskins, we have Curios, front line of AP Loonies and Gobbles again. Second line of Orc Boys this time with a Snackless Death Thrower. It's a death throw. It's a bolt thrower versus bolt thrower action here. Alright, death thrower. Wait, Snotling pump wagons with flappers. Boy, haven't seen these guys in a while. That is gonna be some fun stuff to see. Rusty Airs and the Hammer of Gork. So artillery, the greenskin artillery battle is about to begin. Although the other side is are just more like greenskins' cousins. Darkest Squigs once again, and Goblin Rock Lobbers and Broken Tusk Mob. We have Night Gobble Big Boss supporting Goblin Great Shaman on a Spider. Once again, Vindictive Glare and Sneaky Stabbin'. I think that's all for the army builds on the greenskins. Oh wait, hold on. There's a Manji Marauders in the forest here with armor piercing firepower. Now on the other side for the Chaos Dwarfs, the front line of laborers backed up by some Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses. Some of them already receiving some heavy artillery fire from the rock lobbers, especially the Hammer of Gork. You can see the blinded effect already applying, and this blocky formation needs to spread out unless they want to take even more damage from those rocks. Goblin laborers guarding a bunch of Hobgobble bolt throwers, and that's it for the main army. Leading the army as a Saucer Prophet of Fire, once again going very heavy on missiles with this Chaos Dwarf army. But as you can see, unlike Tinge, the greenskins do have access to a lot of anti-infantry firepower. Well, specifically the rock lobbers. So, yeah, those blunderbusses are really feeling the pain now, seeing that the bolt throwers are still not even close to reaching the range of enemy artillery. While the Snackless Death Thrower should be able to start firing at the bolt throwers. What? No, they're still shooting at the blunderbusses. Looks like they are just. And oh wow, that is a very vindictive glare. My God, that knocked out like 1/3 of HP from the Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses. Oh, holy shit. They're gonna rout soon after a little bit, receiving a little bit more artillery fire, and they're gonna run. Yeah, there goes that unit. They might come back, but it's gonna be wild. While Hammer of Gork continues, and also Rock Lobber continues to pummel those enemy missiles as the blunderbusses and fire glaives in the middle are taking more and more damage. They're trying to rush towards the enemy formation and start firing before they are getting slaughtered. But yeah, oh, the block formation amplifies the damage from a lot of the missiles. Ugh, pain. It's pain. But yeah, blunderbusses finally getting close enough, but they're aiming at gobbles. No, they're aiming at gobbles instead of the Epic Loonies. Epic Loonies, you might want to just move up and drop your loons like along a line. Rylark's armored orcs getting a little too close, getting shot by Infernal Fire Glaives. But wait, AP Loonies, why are you falling back? Just drop your loonies over there along the line. You need to drop your loonies. Oh well. Goblins walking up, eating a bunch of blunderbuss fire, while Death Throwers continue fire up, and Manji Marauders held in reserve. There's not a whole lot of need for them right now, as the artillery doing a lot of heavy lifting against the enemy missile fire. While all these orc boys and goblins are buying time for the artillery to do their work, even dropping in a quick summon from the goblin Night Goblin Big Boss to disrupt those infernal gods, and also sending him into melee to pin down the blunderbusses as well. And the Chaos Dwarf, you can see, is really running out of missiles. Balance of power is already against them, as they're taking more and more damage. Although the squigs shattered as the Infernal Gods fight back with their armor-piercing anti-large melee weapons, their axe guns. Finally, we're seeing the Epic Loonies ripping through. Oh, that's very minimal damage. The angle, unfortunately, the RNG wasn't in the Night Goblin's favor, as the Epic Loonies spinning Looney attack mostly missed their target. If anything, the Rylark's armored orcs are doing more damage in this case, and yeah. With the Durka Squigs cleaning up though, and Orc Boys cleaning up the laborers, they're now pressuring the Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses at the back. All the artillery are completely unhindered, just keeps firing with nothing really to harass them right now. There's no mobility on the Killsdorf side. Everything went into the missiles, and they are not pushing fast enough to threaten the enemy's missiles, while they themselves are getting hammered by artillery. Especially, oh no, these rock lobbers and stuff, they have a firing arc, so they have a higher firing arc than like something like a hobgoblin bolt thrower. So yeah, the bolt thrower just not doing as efficiently. Oh wait, no, they also have a firing arc. What? What were they shooting at? Were they just trying to focus fire this Snagless Death Thrower? Oh right, yeah, they don't have enough range to get to the Hammer of Gork, as the orcs themselves are orcs and goblins are just pinning down that Killsdorf front line, denying them from just keep pushing with their formation. And now with the labor front line being beaten back and most of the blunderbusses fireglaves hammered by artillery, there's nothing to stop those orc boys and gobbles, the 8-pig loonies in particular, to push through. And even the snotling pub wagon has jumped into the middle of a bunch of blunderbusses, tying him down in melee combat. Yeah, I think these bolt throwers are not gonna be long for this world either. Alright, we might just fast forward this point. Oh, never mind. Army losses hit, and that shall be GG. Alright. I love Flat Plus, so silly. Yeah, I mean, I just love pump wagons as a unit. They have a really scrapped together, like, they're really much this scrapped together wastelandish vehicle that somehow works. And, like, I would love to use them more if they're better, but they're so crap. They're just pretty crap. They're pretty good to even go Wait, they have Strider? Okay, I didn't know that. That is an interesting trait. I didn't know they can go through forest just fine. Okay, I want to try them out at some point then. You just rarely need chariots. But against factions that bring expensive infantry, they're great. Yeah, they're cheap and cheerful, but I feel like they're too fragile for what they do. Oh yeah, the Sporus Blodas are funny as hell. But yeah. It's been a long while since I last used them. Maybe I'll bring a Greenskin Chariot build at some point. I think I built a Greenskin Chariot build with in a Greenskin themed meme tourney I hosted one a while back, and they actually won a game. But yeah, I might host something else. I might host something like that in the future, but we shall see. But yeah, overall, the Greenskins artillery carried the day there, hammering all those blunderbusses and doing most of the heavy lifting, really. Creo, you said destruction regular gobbles first, then 8-peak loonies. Okay, that makes sense. Use the regular gobbles to, like, take the brunt of the enemy fire. Let's see. Yeah, mostly it's the artillery doing the heavy lifting here. Menji Marauders doing some minor damage, while on the other side, the bolt throwers. I wasn't. Were they just shooting at the Snagless Death Throwers? And oh, they did shoot at the Goblin Great Shaman, but unfortunately didn't do a whole lot. While the infantry just get hammered hard by Gork himself, with all the rock lobbers lobbing very damaging rocks in their formation. If you ever play Greenskins and are scared of Slangors, bring a single flap. I'll try that. I definitely should try playing Damn it! I need to play with Wildwood Rangers first next time, and then the one after I might play some greenskins and get pump wagons. But yeah, the main like damage dealer of the Chaos Dwarf army unfortunately just got hammered hard by all those artillery, and wasn't able to do much in battle. Alright, we're back to Wood Elves versus Norska this time. Okay, I think these are our replays. No, these are not our replays. Actually, these are Greenskins replays. My bad. Yep. And this is my replay, and yep. Let's do this one then. Wood Elves versus Norska. And yeah, I'm seeing Zolts in here. I like it. I like this. I like this. But at the same time, you gotta make sure you're using the Zolt's ability on the right. 3 Zolts might be too much, unfortunately. I would say 2 Zolts are the right amount. Because Zolts are quite expensive. And you don't really need 9... You don't need 9 casts of Flesh to Stone and 6 casts of Earth Bloods. You probably... 4 casts of Earth Bloods and 6 casts of Flesh to Stone would probably be enough. But yeah, 2... Oh, that is a very small army. Isn't even... It did fulfill the unit count requirement. So, 3 Glade Riders, Hagbane Tips, 2 War Dances, and 3 Zolts. And then 1 more Glade Riders with Spears. So that's fine. 240. And then another 200. So 440. And then... Wait, hold on. There must be something else. Oh, right. Yep. Never mind. That's 500 cavalry. That's 300 cavalry, 500 cavalry, and then 48 Zolts and 2 more heroes. Yep, that's 550 for sure. Right, yep. War Dancers turning on their Shadow's Coil. I don't think that's needed here because you're fighting against Norskin, so the most damage you're going to take are some skirmishing fire, which you shouldn't be letting them get close anyways. If anything, you should be starting to move your skirmishing cavalry over and start like counter-firing at them. But unfortunately, ever since we got moved into Warhammer 3, I feel like the Glade Riders skirmishers, the archers ones, are performing a lot worse than before. Possibly because of the ultra unit scale, their skirmishing effectiveness is a lot less. Their skirmishing is a lot less effective as everyone's HP is just inflated. Yeah. While their damage output and ammo didn't really inflate. So, yeah. Anyways, leading army is Orion, supported by the Ember. It's a spell of Singer of Beasts with Flock of Doom and Flock of Doom only. For the other side of the battlefield, we have some Marauder Bearmen once again in the front line mixed in with Berserkers. This time, still backed up by a bunch of Ice Wolves, Skin Wolves, Beast of Tashnar. And that's it for the Norskin army. Oh, actually, 2 Marauder Horsemen. One of them, the Riders of the Mighty Serpent, and the other a Throwing Axis variant. Leading the army is Wolfric the Wanderer, supported by a Familiar Bale Fiend with Malkovs and Pit of Shade. Yeah, the Wood Elves are in a bit of trouble because these elite and very expensive and very fragile War Dancers will be prime target for those Pit of Shades, Malkovs to nuke them down. And I don't know if the Glade Riders alone would be enough to win this. Oh no! Already getting hit by a bolt from Wolfric. Down to half health on this very expensive unit of War Dancers. That was unfortunate. But and there's no healing right now coming in from the Zolts yet. Malkovs onto the Hackbane's tips. Draining them down. Gonna fast forward a bit there. Missiles are being shot at the Familiar Bale Fiend, but unfortunately that is mostly a waste of damage. Because the Familiar Bale Fiend having that from the miss ability mitigates 50% of incoming missiles. And yeah, basically 50% of your damage is wasted. Ooh, what is this? Wait, what is... Oh, the Hound ability from Orion. Ripping through some of the Bearmen. And they themselves have taken some damage from something. Was it from the... was this from the missiles? I wonder. Familiar Fealfin also being aimed at, but the arrow now mostly missed their target as the Marauder Bearmen were committed to an evasive maneuver. Wood Dancers already wrecked by the Bearmen despite themselves taking quite a bit of damage. Yeah. Oh wait, they turn on Shadow's Coil. That makes sense, but that was not enough to mitigate the disadvantage they receive from the boat of Wolfric. These ladies also have Shadow's Coil turned on, but unfortunately didn't do much damage either, as they are now gonna be flanked by the Murder Berserkers. Oh no! All these Glade Riders stacking together just fell victim to a massive Pit of Shades, absolutely getting nuked, and some of them were trying to retreat but walked into the Pit of Shades and just get 2 units get nuked right there. Results are now duking it out against Skin Wolves and Norskin Ice Wolves, dropping Flesh and Stone and Earthblood, trying to sustain themselves in combat, but they are completely outnumbered and surrounded, overwhelmed, and things are not looking good for the Wood Elves at all, as there is another fallen Zolt unit, and I think that is a completely shattered one as well, being broken by the Norskins. Orion himself is unbreakable, so he'll be fighting to his death, but oh, and he's picking a fight with the Famir Balefin. Oh, what are you doing, Famir? Oh, actually, never mind. Orion is bailing out of that fight, and great news for the Famir Balefin, bailing out of that engagement. And with the power of Flesh to Stone and Earthblood, these Zolts were able to beat down the Skin Wolves, now beating up the Northern Ice Wolves, but bad news for them, the Skin Wolves will be able to come back with some healing later. So I don't think the Wood Elves will have this one, as they're really running out of troops. And once more, the Hounds of Orion have been summoned on the battlefield with the Hawk's Talon to chip away enemies' health, but unfortunately, I think that is all for the rest of the Wood Elves, as these Zolts are being surrounded and routed as well. A recharge from the Berserkers, a full health Skin Wolves coming in now. Oof. And I think that is going to be GG. It's just a matter of time to surround and beat down Orion with a crap ton of stuff. Army losses hit, and that is going to be GG with Orion alone against the entire Norskin army. Orion still have a... wait, I was going to say Orion still have a chance to like just grind down a lot of these Norskin units, but Wolfric himself being almost full health means Orion is going to be in big trouble. He's just going to get burst down with Hunter of Champions, nuking his stats. And you can see the Glade Riders unfortunately didn't do too much there. They were hit by that. They were hit by that very unfortunate Pit of Shades. And that did a lot of damage, honestly. While the Zolts, one of them did already, the other two not so much, as there were just not enough melee units to support them fighting against a numerically superior opponent. And yeah, the War Dancers, they're too fragile, too expensive, and too easy to be focused down by Pit of Shades, Melkov, stuff like that. And missiles, perhaps, even. And yeah, and also they're too fragile, taking too much attrition damage in melee combat, even against non-magical attacks armies. And Berserkers trade pretty well into them, even. That Pit of Shades physically hurt me when it happened. Yeah, that was a painful Pit of Shades. A lot of that skirmishing fire potential just gone like that. Probably, I would say probably if you have so many Glade Riders, you probably could have tried like spending a bit more time kiting instead of sending those War Dancers into melee so soon. You might as, like, you have so much investment into your skirmish cavalry, might as well just use up the skirmishing a bit before you throw them into a closer distance shooting or even melee combat then. Alright, next up we have Greenskins versus Skaven, and in the final replay we have Greenskins versus Wood Elves. So let's go for the Greenskins versus Skaven first, as both sides are bringing some heavy duty artillery. Now, for Curios, Greenskins of 5 units of Goblins, 2 Savage Orcs. Savage Orcs, Orc Boys. Hold on. Checking some stuff. The 8-peak loonies, once again, it's a pretty much staple unit for the greenskins. Having the unbreakable trait is just so nice for a greenskin army that is usually susceptible to leadership issues. Hammer of Gork, and of course Goblin Rocklobber, 2 of them. So 3 Rocklobbers in total, 1 regiment of Renown, a bunch of Broken Tusk Mob, and Savage Orc Boarboy, so quite a bit of AP mobility as well. Ruglocks Armored Orcs as always, another staple of the greenskins. AP Loonies are Vanguard deployed, and the Savage Orcs are hidden in the forest. Leading the army is a Goblin Great Shaman, supported by a Night Goblin Big Boss for Squig summons. Yeah, Squig thinking. And yeah, that's it for the army built on the greenskins side. Oh wait, there are some Orc Air Boys, so a little bit more missiles, and some Vanguard deployed mobility. Moon Howlers and Durkit Squigs. You don't see Moon Howlers that much actually, so I'm quite surprised to see them on the battlefield. Like, yes, they cause fear and whatnot, but overall, they're just not very useful. And I would say, overall, honestly, overall, the greenskin wolf riders are just not that useful. You might as well just grab a spider riders. Like, they're a light cavalry that is very prone to routes anyway, so might as well just use. Yeah, they're not that ideal. They're not that great, honestly. But anyways, we'll see whether their Vanguard deployment will pay off this time. As for the other side, we have the Skavens boxing up once again with Claret Spears and Red Ogres, and some Skaven Slave Spears as well. Surrounding a core of Storm Vermin Halberds and artillery. You can see there are some Avalanche Mortars, the King Zapsap, and also 1 Teeth Breakers, ready to shoot down everything getting close enough to that greenskin, to that Skaven formation. We'll see what happens here. Go into normal speed as the King Zapsap are already opening fire at that Hammer of Gork artillery unit. As I think that is going to be, yeah, all the rock lobbers will be lobbing rocks at that King Zapsap in an attempt to nuke it down. But oh no, the King Zapsap already. Wait, it just incinerated the whole artillery model. Oh boy, the warp lightning is brutal, man. But yeah, the rocks are being lobbed over now towards the King Zapsap. Whether it's gonna kill that King Zapsap in time, I don't think so. At least not before the Hammer of Gork being completely knocked out. Especially the 3rd rock lobber is just about to start firing. But they did manage to get some pretty good collateral damage done to the Storm Vermin Halberds there. Yep, 3rd artillery model on the Hammer of Gork down. Might as well just pull off the artillery crew and run somewhere else, dude. Like, you can't afford to lose the last artillery model. You need to keep them around for that lead stats debuff. Never mind, last model done for, so there's no more blinded debuff from the Hammer of Gork. And the other 2 rock lobbers continues to fight instead of. Oh no! Oh no! The Goblin Great Shaman and ventured too close, and the Teeth Breakers decided to push Sally forth out of that Skaven box. And yeah, went over to target the Goblin Great Shaman. They might be getting a bit ahead of themselves now, trying to go after the retreating Goblin Great Shaman and putting themselves closer and closer to danger. Rock Lobbers continues to fire, and this time at the Avalanche Mortars. Looks like they decided to give up on shooting the King Zapsap and decided instead to just go after the enemy weapons teams. And, well, I don't blame them. These Avalanche Mortars are indeed quite brutal. Oof, nuking half the 1/3 of HP off from this Goblin Rock Lobber crew. And, yeah, the Skavens are getting a head start with that artillery battle. But, they do pull back the Avalanche Mortars now that, the Greenskins, seeing an opportunity, decided to charge in and see if they can catch those weapons teams. The answer is probably not. As there are some Clamor Spears, and we have some more Skaven's chaff just try to fan off and screen away those gobbles. But yeah, I think the Teeth Breakers are probably done for with heavily targeted by Vindictive Glare and Rock Lobbers. But another Rock Lobber crew down. But I don't think the Hammer of Gork can pick up the artillery model though. Yeah, I don't think so, because Hammer of Gork model are different. It's different from regular Rock Lobbers. so they don't actually. Oh, pain. Avalanche Moshers doing what they do best, deleting infantry left, right, and center. Yeah, that was quite brutal. Oh boy. And AP Loonies ripping through some Storm Vermins, not doing enough damage to make a difference. And the Goblin Grey Shaman has no choice but to hide in the forest, as the Ikigzasa is just targeting him right now. And every shot he receives will adds a bit of a cooldown on his abilities. Yep, Ikigzasa adding another 10-second cooldown on his abilities, essentially silencing him with every volley. Squig Herd being summoned into the enemy formation, but right now, what can the Greenskins do to kill all the Storm Vermins, though? Beautiful. Oh wait, that's a Scorch. Wait, no. That's a beautiful Dread of 13 summon, nuking the Broken Tusk Mob and Orc Air Boys there. And I think that is going to be Skaven victory. Holding the ground strong with their artillery advantage, and yeah, deleting everything that gets close with the box, holding back the enemies at bay. The Avalanche Mortars has been knocked out though, Darkest Squigs and Moon Howlers. But that might be a little bit too late at this point. It's not over yet, actually. With the 2 mobility, they can do some pretty good, like chasing down, hunting down the routed units. The problem is, how are they going to deal with the Storm Vermins? We shall see. With the AP Looney still having quite a bit of health and still able to use 1 spinning Looney attack. That might be an interesting, like, last attempt to take out the Storm Vermins. We're now stuck on Goblins once again. Don't call it too early while I still have the Wolf Riders. Yep, you're right, I was definitely calling it too early. Balance of power is still not that far apart. It's still relatively close. And the Moon Howlers can still just run down enemy routed troops. And 1 Rock Lopper. Oh, Rock Lopper is still alive! I didn't realize that. Oh boy! Oh, that Ikigzasa has been taken out by the AP Loonies pushing in as well. So, yeah. There's still a chance. The Rock Lopper is still firing, and the Storm Vermins are getting hammered right now by the artillery, and they definitely need that artillery to just fire everything into those Storm Vermins. And of course, Greenskins will need to do everything they can to keep those artillery crew alive, while the Savage Orcs just doing what they do best, duking it out against Chaff, slaughtering. Oh, there are some Red Ogres. Storm Vermins. As long as they are not Storm Vermins, the Savage Orcs will do okay. But yeah, Clan Reds are getting beaten up. And finally, the Goblin Grey Shaman dares to poke out of the forest. But he himself not doing a whole lot of damage, just a few Vindictive Glares so far. But a Vindictive Glare on the Grey Seer. Oh, don't even try it. Increasing their cooldown, but more importantly, direct damage drain to whittle down their health. And the Grey Seer is in a very dangerous situation. His health is getting lower and lower, with Ruglock's armored orcs chipping away at his health. I don't know if he have enough speed to get out of range. Probably not, honestly. And the Ruglock's armored orcs might be able to finish him. Nope, never mind. Red Ogre is coming in to silence the Ruglock's armored orcs. But still, Grey Seer routed. And the Skavens are in a bit of a rough spot right now. Balance of power back into the middle. Gotta respect the Goblin crew refusing to use non-purple artillery because they're committed to stay stealthy. Wait, are they purple artillery? The Regiment of Renown is purple though. Yeah. Gotta stay stealthy and stay away from the enemy attack range. But yeah, Red Ogres push through and try to silence the remaining Rock Lobber, but the Moon Howlers rear charge in and broken these Red Ogres, allowing the Rock Lobbers to go back online, and they're targeting the Grey Seer. It's gonna be a rough task to actually hit him, but nope, missed. That didn't hit, and that didn't hit as well. Yeah, that is gonna be a rough one to hit, and more units are coming in to break off. Yeah, to threaten these Rock Lobbers. Right now, though, Darkest Squigs are duking out in the front line, doing a lot of, making a lot of kills. Against Storm Vermins, nonetheless. Probably against mostly Clan Rats and stuff earlier, but right now they were just pinning down the enemy advance. But looks like there are some Skaven slaves coming over, but with the Moon Howler's fear inducing trait, they should be able to rout off these Skaven slaves quite soon. Will it be soon enough? I don't think so. I don't know actually, but at least those the death of the Greenskins won't go unavenged. Wait, where's the Grey Seer? Did I miss the guy dying? Or did the guy just went off? Wait, hold on. Or did the guy just went off into the... Oh. The Grey Seer actually died. Was it a Vindictive Glare, I wonder? Huh. Yeah, the Grey Seer died. So no more Skaven leadership, and there's going to be a bunch of breaks from the Skavens as well. But will the Storm Vermins clutch it, or will they once again fall victim to terror routes and stuff? We shall see. As the Goblin Great Shaman being charged by a bunch of Red Ogres took some damage, but still managed to terrify the Red Ogres who have lost their spirits after their lord also died. I think it was a Broken Tusk mob on 2% HP. I'll rewatch this and see how the Grey Seer died. 10 minutes of footage, that means like 2.5 minutes of fast forward. So, wait, it's 8 times, so maybe like a minute of fast forward. So, yeah. Anyway, Storm Vermins continues to fight on. But both armies are just scattered all over the battlefield at this point. A lot of routing and breaking and routing from those Greenskins and Skaven units. Very standard of them. Just that you will have to spend more effort to gather up the routed units. Storm Vermin over here, while they could have probably win the fight and win the engagement, they are actually getting rear charged by goblins and then attacked in the rear. Plus lowered leadership. They broke, yeah, basically attacked in the rear. Their leadership got lower. They broke, and that basically led to army losses kicking in. But yeah, the Wolf Riders actually played a really key role in the late game there. Damn. Didn't expect them to do so much work. Alright, fast forward. Gonna see how the Grey Seer died. Alright, I do feel like these Teeth Breakers have went a little bit too aggressive. Yeah, they just pushed a little bit too ahead, and they did some good damage, but at the same time exposed themselves to a lot of damage as well. They did earn back quite a bit of value. I'll give them that, but yeah, the Vindictive Glare knocked them out. And oh, once the infantry close in from the Greenskin side, suddenly the Savage Orcs, the AP Lootings are a lot more threatening to the Skaven backline. They have to commit Climate Spears and Red Ogres to stop them, but they're not exactly the tankiest units against all these damage output, especially with the Watt boosting up their melee stats. And Aegis also gave up on shooting down the last Rock Lobber and just went over to try and kill the Goblin Great Shaman, who wisely hid behind trees instead. Oh, the Grey Seer is sitting too long in front of the Rocklock's Armored Orcs. And units pushing in, but oh, it's actually Goblins and Savage Orcs driving back those Ikigzapzap crew. Knocking them out means that the Rock Lobbers are safe to just keep firing at the Storm Vermins, who are still quite far away from their artillery position and taking a lot of unnecessary damage. Taking a lot of unfortunate damage. Not unnecessary, Not unnecessary, but more unfortunate. Thiefbreakers came back to some more damage, which is quite surprising. But yeah. Grey Seer himself is getting lower and lower, hit by Vindictive Glare, and don't even try it and stuff. But alright, fast forward and see how this Grey Seer died. I don't see any cavalry nearby, so I don't know if anything came over and killed him. Alright, the Broken Tusk mob at 2% HP came back. Oh, it's not 2% HP, it's 3%. It's 3% HP. And they're going for that one last YOLO charge. Can they make it even make it into combat instead of being fear routed? Oh, the Thiefbreakers didn't notice the Broken Tusk mob and didn't turn around to fire at them. Oh, actually, I can see. Yeah, I can see here either. Don't even try it. Broken Tusk mob didn't do shit. It's the Goblin Great Shaman, draining him down. And without the Grey Seer holding up that leadership, the Skavens are just gonna be bricking fast afterwards. The Durkis Squigs and the Moon Howlers actually did some pretty good work here, protecting the back line for quite a while. I mean, you have like 100. You have so much stuff to micro. I like nobody is gonna pay attention to every single detail in the combat, so it's very reasonable to forget things. Sometimes I even forget names of lords I've been talking about for years, so don't worry about it. Yeah, a lot of kills, but not a whole lot of value. Pretty decent value from Savage Orcs actually. HP Loons did some good work, and Rylox Armored Orcs, despite all the damage they take in early game, still managed to get some good work done, chipping down that Grey Seer with their crossbows. Artillery, one of them earned back their value. One of them, the Hammer of Gork, being heavily targeted by Ikigzazap, did not. But this Rock Lobber did so much work, being allowed to survive as the Ikigzazap was too busy shooting at the Goblin Great Shaman instead of eliminating all the artillery, and gave the Greenskins a pretty good chance to come back in the late game. Broken Tusk mob did some good damage overall, and as for the Skavens there, Ikigzazap was the MVP, but and the Thiefbreakers did some good damage, but unfortunately once the Lord goes down, there's nothing much they can do as everything starts running for the hills. And Storm Vermins are getting hammered by those Rock Lobbers was not ideal for them either. I think this one was guarding the Ikigzazap, which means it took a lot of collateral damage when the Ikigzazap was being targeted by the rocks, but the rocks also landed in the middle of the Storm Vermins. Right, Ogres, they're alright, and yeah, that shall be it for this one. One final battle between the Greenskins and Wood Elves, and that shall be it for today's stream. Let's hop right in and conclude the night. For Curio's Greenskins, a lot of gobbles, regular goblins, plus 5 more goblin spears, 8 pig loonies, 2 squick hoppers. Now, I didn't expect to see them here. You're really bringing in some niche units today, Curio. And some Orc boys, not big ones, just regular boar boys. Rylox Armored Orcs, Hammer of Gork once again. The great thing about them is they do debuff melee stats and can tip engagements in your favor because of that. Thief Robbers! Nobody ever brings this! What the fuck? Alright, that is a funny one then. We shall see what happens. They're not as memey as pump wagons, but they're still a very rare occurrence. Nobody ever uses them, even less than pump wagons, honestly. We'll see what they can do. And Orc Boar Boys leading the army is once again Goblin Great Shaman on the other side for the Wood Elves. Oh no, they're trying to box up. This is going to be a problem because of the double... Is it triple or double? Double Rock Lobbers, because there's a Rock Lobber and then there's the Hammer of Gork. And they're going to receive some hammering from the Greenskins for sure. And they need to start pushing. And also spread out their formation. Holy shit, this is going to be very dangerous. If a rock goes over the Glade Guards, they might just land on the Wild Hunters of Kurniss, and then you just get receive a bunch of damage. Very expensive damage too. Dryads and Eternal Gods forms the exterior of the box, and then Glade Gods, Starfire Shafts, and all Starfire Shafts in the center. Lost Silver Knights, Wild Hunters of Kurnus, and Durthu, the Tree Papa, leading the army. Vindictive Glare is gonna be pain. It's gonna be painful. One Vindictive Glare going into the Glade Gods, knocking out a quarter of the HP and doing some collateral damage to the Wild Hunters of Kurnus as well. Hammer of Gork is probably gonna Starfire. Yeah, the hammers are coming in, smashing some Glade Gods. Although the Lost Silver Knights can shrug off a little bit. Oh no, they're not hit at all, so yeah, that's fine for them. But Wild Hunters of Kurnus will have to be careful though. They are very fragile and will take quite a bit of damage from skirmishing fire. But looks like the green skins are pushing up as well to try and keep those. Oh no, what are you doing? Stop rushing forward. You're gonna charge into Epic Loonies. You're gonna charge into the spinning loons. No. And a counter charge from the Orc Boar boys that they did not get a charge on. Oh, downhill charge as well. That is a very painful engagement for the Wild Hunters of Kurnus. Oh no. Lost Silver Knights are coming over and trying to equalize things, but they themselves have they're down to half health already. Starfire Shafts are trying to trade fire against the Ragnarok's armored orcs, and they're doing good damage, but they're taking a lot of damage as well. Oh, there's some Treekin, but Treekin is not good at dealing damage. They're good at holding the line, and they're gonna hold the line, but right now they need to break through and get rid of the artillery at the back, which is what the Wild Hunters of Kurnus are doing, trying to go past the enemy mobility. But right now they are getting tied down, getting caught by the thief robbers, and now another unit of Orc Boys are coming in. Oh no, Wild Hunters of Kurnus. Yeah, that Hunters of Kurnus are done for. Although the Lost Silver Knights deleting the Orc Boar boys and fighting through the another unit of mobility, shredding those Squid Hoppers. But yeah, the Wild Hunters of Kurnus are not going anywhere. The Tree Papa dropping in a Flock of Doom to drain down the Orc Boar boys and just walking towards artillery menacingly. But Night Goblin Squid Hopper, seeing the fragile defenses. Oh, I think these Glade Gods might have just been hammered by rock robbers and now being cleaned up by the Night Goblin Squid Hoppers. There's a lot of Eternal Gods, but they are blobbing up so hard. They need to spread out and start pushing. They need to just spread out and keep going, man. They just need to keep going and drive their way towards the enemy missiles. But unfortunately, a lot of the Wood Elf units are just taking a lot of losses right now. Durthu also receiving heavy damage as he is fighting an anti-large armor-piercing specialist who has sneaky stabbing and a second Wa to juice up their melee attack and weapon damage. And Durthu normally would be an amazing fighter, but against this anti-large specialist with their stats juice up to 120%, probably more than that, honestly. Juice up to like 200%. Yeah, Durthu himself is getting broken up, and the box did not hold in. They're just the hammer of Gork just devastated the archer fire, and the Wood Elves were not able to break through the Greenskins' defenses to take down the artillery. Oh, actually, yeah, some Dryads managed to get to the Ragnarok's armored orcs, but yeah, the Wild Hunters of Kurnus getting caught in pretty bad engagements as well, taking a lot of unnecessary damage, and that shall be victory for the Greenskins, as their Hammer of Gork did pretty okay, but yeah, most of the damage coming in from the archers, from the spinning loons. Wait, I need to rewatch this, because the spinning loons did some good damage to the Wild Hunters of Kurnus. And even the Lost Silver Knights were bogged down and finished off by the Greenskins. Yeah, Durthu tried his best, but unfortunately there's just too many Greenskins lobbing different kinds of damage to the rather fragile. Oh wait, shit! I wasn't planning to reopen this one. I wanted to check how the Lost Silver Knights died. So yeah, gonna quit this one. But yeah, and with that we can pretty much conclude in the end. Actually, yeah. Hold on. Let me just. With all the replays, casts, we can safely conclude that the final victor of the tourney for this Sunday Faction Wars is Pasha, with his Norscan army. And with his reliable line of Bearmen and Sael the Faithless. God damn it, the damage drain on with his passive on Kairos Fate Weaver. That was painful. But yeah, that Wild Hunters of Kurnoss getting caught by a bunch of stuff was very unfortunate in the early game. Lost Overnights did it really well when they get to do the charge, but that Wild Hunters of Kurnoss getting slightly caught by their Thief Robbers and just bogged down in melee, and then yeah, that was all. Oh, the Spinning Loons ripping a hole on these not only on the Squid Hoppers but also on the Lost Silver Knights. Interesting. But yeah, the Spinning Loons managed to like surround and bog down the Lost Silver Knights, which was pretty nice. I didn't really pay attention to how these Glade Gods died, though, so there's that. Wait, how did the Glade Gods die? I mean, I would expect one to go down from artillery, but both of them routed just from artillery? When they only had like 300 to 400 damage value on each one? On each artillery? I'm not sure what happened there. I'm gonna watch that one as well. Alright, hammers coming in, smashing one. Oh, right, yeah, I forgot. The Rocklock's Armored Orcs shoot down the other Glade Gods with Starfire Shafts. Yeah, and then the Squid Hoppers swoop in and start running them down. With the Wood Elf Mobility all committed to the left side, unable to re-secure their routed units. Alright, fast forwarding, and then we will go into... Wait, oh, hold on. Yeah, we've seen the post-battle screen already, so we don't really... Oh no, they try to pull out of a fight, which means showing their backs to the opponents, and their poison slowed down, so enemies can easily catch up. So that's why the Lost Silver Knights got dragged down. Alright, that is it. That is all for today's replays and tournament. We all enjoyed the games, and congratulations to Pasha for winning this Sunday Faction Wars. And yeah, we'll be seeing... I should be able to host another tourney on Wednesday, so please look forward to that. And I'll set up a tournament page tomorrow for challenge. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this rather last-minute Sunday Faction Wars, and I hope you all had a great weekend. I hope everything goes well for everyone. Have a great rest of the Sunday, and hope you guys have a great start next week. Yeah, that was all for today. Thank you for joining me on the stream. And I'll see you all in the next one. Tactical Lich signing out.